What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp. It is technically February 9th. We are watching UFC 247. Man, Dom Reyes, John Jones, it's about to happen. Walkouts are going down right now. So we're doing a watch-along. We've been doing this for several of the UFC main events, really, since Tito and Alberto Del Rio. And people loved it. I am joined by Jeremy Lambert. Jeremy, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Sean?
I'm wonderful. I'll take you guys through the results of UFC 247 thus far. We just saw Valentina Shevchenko continue her reign of dominance as UFC flyweight champion. She destroyed Caitlin Chikagian, and who knows what's next for her, but she dominated Chikagian, beat her via strikes, and I mean, really, Chikagian doesn't finish people, doesn't get finished, so that's impressive. Justin Tava defeated Juan via TKO strikes. That should have been nowhere near the main card, but it was good to break up the monotony of decisions. Juan once tried out for WWE. You had Dan Ige defeat Mirsad Bektic via split decision. Derrick Lewis, number 6, defeated the number 12 light heavyweight Ilir Latifi via unanimous decision. He actually predicted, Jeremy, a controversial decision victory. They said, how'd you think this fight's going to end? And he goes, controversial decision victory, which I thought was phenomenal.
Derrick Lewis just scripting out his own fight. He's like, am I going to finish this guy? I'm going to be correct.
Yeah, Trevin Giles defeated James Krause, who was fighting, you could argue, up 2 weight classes because he used to be a lightweight, rarely fights at welterweight, but he took this fight on 1 day notice. A lot of respect for James Krause doing that. That's a guy I've known since he was on the regional circuit of MMA. I've known Caitlin Chikagian since she was an amateur fighter too, so some people that I'm familiar with. Another one of those is Andrea Lee. I've known about her since she was on the amateur circuit. Number 8, she was defeated by number 7, Lauren Murphy, via split decision. That's a big win for Lauren Murphy. She's now won 3 of her last 4. You have Mario Batista defeating Miles John via TKO round 2. Chaos Williams defeated Alex Morono, stopped his winning streak in just 27 seconds with a KO. Journey Newsom, who was taken to the hospital following a 38-second win via TKO. He defeated Domingo Pilarte, and then you have Andre Ewell and Jonathan Martinez, an awesome fight. That one goes to Ewell via split decision, and then you have Youssef Zalal defeat Austin Lingo via unanimous decision. But now it's main event time. Now our viewing might be a little bit off from one another at times, myself and Jeremy, but we will try to react in kind. We'll try to react accordingly. And
Dominick Reyes just gave a mean, I mean, it happened a few seconds ago, but he gave a mean look to the camera. I don't know if he wanted to make love to it or murder it.
Yeah. Well, that's Reyes is undefeated. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, does he have a chance? Does he have a chance?" Yeah, I think he does have a chance. I think he's got a pretty solid chance, to be honest with you. But I mean, we've seen John Jones not struggle to finish people of late or beat people of late, but hasn't quite been finishing people of late. Dom Reyes, if he presses forward, that's probably his best opportunity. That's when John Jones does, I don't want to say struggles, but struggles a little bit. And a lot of people get lulled into what John Jones does, and that's easy to do because he's, quite frankly, maybe the best MMA fighter of all time, and you can feel however you want about him. But you know what I'm reminded of every time I see John Jones?
What's that?
How much I miss Form Athletics. The clothing line from back in the day. Uriah Faber sold it to K-Swiss, and they abandoned it. K-Swiss put all their losses on Form Athletics. Piss off, K-Swiss.
I only remember Affliction. Is Affliction still a thing?
Yeah, it is. It sure is. Let me tell you, buddy, I live in Kentucky. If you go to a bar on a Friday or Saturday night, you will become very aware that Affliction is still a thing.
I've not seen, I mean, I don't go out to clubs or bars, so I haven't seen an Affliction shirt in forever.
And American Fighter. I mean, it used to have like the American Pie knockoff logo. They made the best rash guards. I love training in those. But now they're very much like a, let's gear ourselves towards white guys who don't actually fight but want to have something that wears fight on it. I told Jimmy, I was like, we need to mass market Fightful shirts because you put that in rural Kentucky, people are going to buy it just because it has the word fight on it. Look at you. Look at you with the South Beach style. I see you.
Ah,
I demanded that design. I said, you know
that's
what? We need something more colorful. We need something brighter. We need something that isn't just black. We needed something nice.
I like the Saved by the Bell logo. As we found out a few weeks ago, we're both big Saved by the Bell fans.
Well, I was hoping that Ball didn't get traded because it could have been Saved by the Ball in South Beach. Man, my goal was to have Ball host the List in Your Boy, and it be the List in Your Ball.
I think we can get the Luther in your bowl.
Yes. Oh man, that'll be something. By the way, guys, if you're wrestling fans, check out Jeremy's show. It won't be on this week, but it will be on, I believe, the week following, the Distraction Podcast, every Thursday. Times may vary. You may experience an echo depending on how you listen. But you all had some...
That was Joe's fault.
Yeah, I bet it was. You all had some trade deadline talk. What is John Jones doing? He's slapping himself.
He's getting ready, man. John Jones is ready.
Man, John Jones. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. And now he crawls into the cage. So, you know when he started to do that, that used to be a thing that a lot of amateurs would pick up. And they would do that. And I don't know why. I mean, John Jones, like... he does that for a couple of reasons. One, so nobody can kick him. Two, because he's the best MMA fighter maybe ever. And three, because he has the most unusual length and reach ever. There was a promotion local to me, Hard Rock MMA. If you ever see a fighter that has competed in Kentucky, it's almost a guarantee if they become a pro, they would have fought here. A guy tried that on the amateurs, and his opponent said, "Nah, we're not doing this," and kicked him right in the face. And got a DQ. The clip went viral, did hundreds of thousands of views. And that same night, another clip did hundreds of thousands of views when the cage door broke and the fighters fell out of the ring. Hopefully that doesn't happen here.
That happened at a Strikeforce event, didn't it? Bobby Southworth, I think.
There you go. Bobby Southworth from Tough One.
Yeah. I feel like that was his last fight ever. I'm sure he fought again, but that was the last memory of Bobby Southworth anyone has.
Meanwhile, next week, Diego Sanchez still doing it. Still at it.
Good for Diego. I don't know why he's still fighting, but good for him.
Here's to hoping that everything is functional here as... Kentucky internet seems to struggle. But they're doing intros right now. So how do you see this fight going?
I have John Jones winning. I'm not betting against John Jones until I actually... He didn't look great in his last fight, but he had a really good quote about... the Warriors didn't win every game. The Lakers don't win every game. Yeah. Like sometimes you don't have your best night, but you still win. And I mean, John Jones still wins. And Reyes, he's obviously got knockout power, but I think John Jones, if you touch him, you can hurt him. I think that's kind of an overrated thing. Jones has never really been shown to be really hurt when he's been hit outside of maybe the Gustafsson fight, the first one. But even then, he responded and gave back. So until I see John Jones in actual trouble, I'm not seeing it.
So as we talk about the Jones fight, the interesting thing elsewhere on this show, Valentina Shevchenko, I think she might be next in line for Nunes. The interesting thing about Valentina is she beat Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who is the best 115-pound fighter ever. Valentina herself is the best 125-pound fighter ever. And she took Amanda Nunes to the limit, who is, by all accounts, the best 135 and best 145-pound fighter ever since she beat Chris Cyborg. That's pretty impressive that a woman who was undersized at 135 has beaten or competed with the very best across 4 different divisions. And you got John Jones, who is just beaten all comers. I respect John Jones from that competitive perspective because I've been on a tangent tonight about how much Yoel Romero does not deserve a title shot. He's lost 3 of his last 4. He missed weight a bunch of times. He doesn't draw. He draws between 150 and 250,000 pay-per-views. It should be Jared Cannonier, if even by default. I just think that's completely terrible that Romero gets a title shot. And there's something to be said about Shevchenko losing 2 in a row, but you look at Jon Jones, and he's beating all comers. He's beating everybody. Like, he's anybody and everybody. Henry Cejudo is just completely avoided Benavidez, completely avoided Sterling, completely avoided Juan, and took a fight with Jose Aldo because his face used to be on some posters. I can't stand that. I cannot stand that.
Well, it's the same thing with Israel Adesanya. Like, he's the one who wanted the Yoel Romero fight. It's not like, I mean, Adesanya could have easily said, yeah, I want Cannonier, but he's like, if I'm going to prove I'm the best, I got to fight Romero. It's like, why? This dude,
check your Twitter. Check your Twitter.
Romero
DMs, by the way.
is very good, but he's, not exactly the top guy. So it's very, yeah, I'm with you. I don't like that Romero is getting the fight.
I want to make sure we're at the same time point, Jeremy. So I sent you a Twitter thing. Rob Wilkins sent a super chat. By the way, if you want your question or statement read on the air, send one. Dom Reyes goes in quick and does slug it out. He's chucking and ducking. I like it. Rob Wilkins says, hey, let's hope you all are having a good weekend. When do you head out on vacation, Jeremy? Shout out to DK and to his pops and fam. I have Jones winning. Yeah, shout out to our friend Wild Boy.
Yes.
His father's experiencing some struggles right now, and his family has been in general. Jeremy goes on vacation Tuesday, right?
Yeah, Tuesday morning at like 4 a.m.
Damn. Well,
I'm going to cover Raw and then maybe sleep for 30 minutes.
Hey, hot damn. Now, I like Reyes' approach. He is pressing forward. He's getting oblique kicked repeatedly, but you got to do this to Jon Jones. It's the only way. You can't play the length game. You can't play the wrestling game. If he's going to get in the clinch, which Jon Jones almost certainly will do, you got to make him eat some punches on the way in.
You've got to make it ugly against Jones. You can't, as you said, you can't just sit back and let him use his kicks and his reach to kind of pick you apart. Like, you've got to come in there. You've got to realize you're going to eat a few, but you got to give a few in return.
Yeah, precisely. And I mean, the thing is, Jones will close the distance eventually. But if you're throwing punches, at least you're giving yourself a chance. It was like the McGregor situation. You knew Khabib was eventually going to get the clinch and get the takedown. But McGregor did not throw enough to make Khabib pay on the way inside. Dom Reyes is doing that. He's not winning the first 2 minutes of this fight, as I am at 3:17 of the first round left. But I do like this. This is the right game plan for Dom Reyes, all things considered. The massive underdog that he may be.
Oh!
Yeah, you're about a second ahead of me as you react. Jon Jones took a punch to the chest. Now a good combo from Reyes. Backs up Jon Jones.
I really like what Reyes is doing. I mean, he's tagging Jones right now.
Now, no matter what happens to Dom Reyes after this, whether he wins or loses, his stock has improved already, in my estimation. And that's coming from an undefeated fighter. He's pouring it on.
The thing is, if he can't finish him in the first or second round, does he have enough to do this for rounds 3, 4, and 5? Because Reyes is a guy who gets guys out of there quickly. We know Jones, he can conserve himself a little bit, but Jones is great in those championship rounds.
Yes, he is. He is, and he really does turn it up. It's crazy to think Dom Reyes, because he's so new. He's only a couple years younger than Jon Jones. But Jon Jones, boy, does he have some cage miles on him. But those cage miles can also translate into experience, obviously. I mean, Jones, one of the greatest of all time, and he has experienced things in there that nobody else has.
He has cage miles, but like in the narration thing where like he's been dominant for over a decade. He's won 17 fights, and you're like, wow, 17 fights in 10 years isn't as much as you would think. Like, that's not even 2 fights per year.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the funny thing is, it's because he misses a year every one. but he's fought every single year, which is unbelievable that he has fought every single year since like '08 in the UFC. And when Jon Jones debuted, like I used to keep an eye on the regional results. He fought so many times regionally in the months leading up to his UFC fight. I was like, how many Jon Joneses can there be in the Northeast regional scene that spell their name this way? I couldn't believe that this guy was fighting this much and winning this much. And then all of a sudden he gets a UFC call just a few months after he debuted. He's unreal. Like, there's no story like Jon Jones, a guy who was a pro fighter for a few months, then came in and dominated the UFC and never let up. And I don't know if you remember the Stephan Bonner fight, but that when I watched that fight, I immediately said that guy's going to be UFC champion. And I don't think that was that bold of a prediction at that point. People don't walk in and German suplex Stephan Bonner and double overhook suplex Stephan Bonner. And spinning back elbow Stephan Bonner. In fact, nobody was doing spinning back elbows at all back then.
I this was at like some meet and greet thing because the Bonner fight was not UFC 100 but like 94 maybe. Is that the GSP?
Maybe, yeah. GSP Penn, right?
And a couple months later, I went to a UFC event and a meet and greet, and Jon Jones was just saying like, "Oh yeah, I just watched YouTube and stole all this stuff from YouTube."
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
He said that he picked up stuff from YouTube and he would learn to fight. And I mean, of course, his high-level wrestling would help him. Didn't help him beat Matt Riddle in a tournament, but say what you will about that.
Jones did a better job slipping there than it looked like live. But, I mean, Reyes still caught him.
Jones isn't quite as lean as he used to be either. Not that means anything. I mean, he has openly spoken that he is willing to fight at heavyweight in the future. But again, one of the things I like about Jon Jones is that he sees when challengers are emerging, and if it's the right fight, he does it. Dom Reyes isn't a money fight. If Jon Jones wanted a money fight, he probably would have just jumped up and fought Miocic or demanded Cormier or something. So you don't see him asking for a guy that's won or lost a bunch of fights in a row or used to hold a title, and good for him.
Look at Jon Jones call out a light heavyweight. He call out just Rampage, like re-sign him from Bellator. Let me fight Rampage again.
Interesting stat. Rampage has fought every single year since like 99. And I don't think he'll fight this year, though.
Don't put it past Rampage.
Yeah. It would be cool to see him fight across 4 decades, but yeah. There's already a guy who's done that, I think. I think Alexei Oleinik did, and maybe a guy in Japan.
Fedor's got to be close, right?
Oh, yeah. If Fedor fights this year,
yeah.
I
say Fedor has been around forever.
There'll be a lot of people, like Barnett will. And
yeah. And Reyes still attacking.
Yeah, this is Jones's 3rd decade. I mean, I doubt he'll be fighting in 10 years, but Jones finding a home for the jab and Reyes slugging it. Oh, I love that. So Jones pulling a big no-no. You don't turn away from your opponent, but and it's odd that it happens so much in high-level UFC where people do that. You see people turn and run, and that's like a thing that any coach will say, don't do that. You never turn your back. You never turn away. You never give them that opportunity. And that's obviously something that Reyes has scouted. It's something that Gustafsson actually used to employ a lot. He would turn and physically run from people to reset in the octagon because you don't want to get backed up against the cage. That was also a thing. If you see the black line or you feel yourself at the black line, you try to work your way back in or you circle out. But good on Dom Reyes for doing that. And he's making this a lot closer than a lot of people thought it would be.
Jones did do well when he was backed up against the cage, though. He covered and rolled really well, and I don't think Reyes really landed much of anything. But when he ran away, Reyes actually had more success. And weird by Jon Jones to just turn and run. But yeah, Gustafsson, that was one fight. I can't remember who it was, but like that was all he would do. Anytime he felt any kind of trouble, he would just run away. And it was
so frustrating. And, like, Carlos Condit did that a little bit in the Diaz fight, but the thing is he was throwing leg kicks with such volume that it was like, okay, he's resetting. When Gustafsson did it, it felt like anytime pressure was coming his way.
Right.
Ooh, John Jones with a nice left hook, lead left hook. Hey, good on Dom Reyes, man. I mean, he slowed down quite a bit, but
he's still in there. But this was the thing. You got to keep this up over 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, and we haven't seen that from Reyes. And this was what I was also talking about with, all right, John Jones is hittable. I mean, that's a weakness in his game. His boxing defense isn't as good as it probably should be, but the guy has a chin. Like, anyone who thinks he doesn't have a chin just hasn't been paying enough attention.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's never been knocked out. Well, I mean, one of these guys has to be the DC Defenders and one has to be the Seattle Dragons.
Did you watch XFL today?
I did. I watched the DC Defenders game. They're my team.
Oh, okay. All right.
They put out the map of who like you can root for, and I can look out my window now and look into DC Defender territory, but I am in St. Louis territory supposedly.
Oh, you got to root for St. Louis.
Can't do it, man. Can't do it.
As a Reds fan, you can't root for St. Louis. Like,
Exactly.
I understand. I'm pulling for Dallas just because they have Carolina Panthers legend Cameron Artis-Payne on their team.
We have somebody saying Jones the cheater is intentionally trying to kick Reyes' knee. Hey, that's a legal tactic, buddy. He can do that. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It's completely fine. It's not cheating. I mean, you can be salty about it all you want. You can say it's not ethical all you want.
I thought they were going to talk about the eye poke stuff because, I mean, he still does the whole, let me put my hand and fingers out there, and if your eyes run into it, sorry.
Yeah. I like this. It's being fought at range. Jones isn't even trying to wrestle, even though Reyes has caused him a little bit of trouble, and he's firing off some combos. Like, this is... I would give the edge to Jones on the feet, like 52-48. Like, it's that close on the feet. But the threat of Jones wrestling, I think, opens that up a little bit. Ooh, there we go. A nice uppercut. Nice left uppercut.
Reyes has landed that uppercut a couple of times when Jones has come in like that.
And it's a good one. He's opening up with those leg kicks, too. And that's something that you don't get to see a lot of out of Jones, who, I mean, if you look at his legs, they're still small, but they've gotten so much bigger over the years. Like,
how do you have this after 2 rounds?
That one's tough. Maybe 1-1. I think I had first round Jones, second round Reyes, maybe.
Really, I think Reyes got the first round. The second round, I'm going to give to Jones. The scorecards, if this goes 25, could be outrageous.
Look at the stats. Reyes 21-12 in significant strikes the first round, and 27-21 the second round. So maybe Reyes did take that first round. It just felt to me like Jones countered better in that first round, but hey, maybe not.
I mean, Reyes has been aggressive, and that counts for a lot on the judges' scorecards as well. Like, we sitting at home don't always see it that way. Like, we're more, we see the countering a little bit more, but for some reason these judges, they put a lot of stock into who was the aggressor, especially if it's even. Like, if you're the aggressor and still getting picked apart, fine, but when it's even like this, they give a lot of leeway to the aggressor.
So if I'm John Jones or Dom Reyes, you have to fight this almost like a 3-round fight at this point, because you can't treat it like you won or lost either of those first 2 rounds because of that. Did you hear Joe Rogan complaining about one of the judges not watching the fights earlier? He went off about it. Dominick Cruz is like, I think that's the commissioner. He goes, I don't care if the commissioner's talking to one of the judges. Reminder,
Jones,
guys. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll go ahead then. If you want your question or statement read on the air, donate a super chat. If you're watching live at youtube.com/Fightful, a replay of this on demand will be up at youtube.com/Fightful MMA Boxing. Slap the thumbs up, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. That way, YouTube lets you know when you go live. John Jones is feeling out Dom Reyes, like throwing his hand out there, and Dom Reyes just Donkey Konged his hand. It was amazing.
Jones running again.
And paying for it too, Jamie.
Yeah.
Like he's getting thrown. Like Reyes is throwing all kinds of stuff, like body kicks, head kicks, leg kicks,
Yeah.
hooks, jabs. I love that. He's got
This is an issue for Jones, and we saw it not so maybe a little bit against Anthony Smith, but in his last fight as well.
Santos, yeah.
Yeah, he's fallen in love with the striking a lot. Like we know he can dominate guys in the clinch and with his wrestling. Like he's really good in both those areas, and his top game is maybe the absolute best. But like he is just content with being on the feet and striking with guys, and that's probably not his easiest path to victory.
Yeah, if I were him, based on the trajectory of this fight, I would be trying to get this fight to the ground just in case. Unless he's trying to develop his Joe Frazier or something, then maybe not. But damn. And we do have somebody saying somebody the caliber of Jones shouldn't be turning his back like that. I mean, sometimes your skill set allows it. Like, people shouldn't have had their hands down and chin up like Anderson Silva did, but his skill set allowed it until it just didn't allow it anymore. Eventually, John Jones's skill set will not allow that, and it's looking like this fight is that. So, yeah, I gotta agree ultimately.
Reyes has landed some sneaky good hooks to the body when Jones is coming in. Now he's going to use the wrestling.
John Jones getting inside, working the clinch, struggled to get the takedown. Reyes trying to fight off the underhooks.
Nice job by Reyes.
Yeah, he had an elbow upon exit and then circled out to his right. I like that. He went left elbow but circled to his right and now is staying unpredictable. Now we got him turning his back, and that would be bad. As good as John Jones is and as not good as turning his back is, Dom Reyes turning his back is the difference in not getting waistlock takedown and getting taken down by a waistlock. Like it's very important. Like John Jones hasn't been known to follow people like that, but I'm sure he can. Also, I liked how John Jones faked the spin kick and it got Reyes off balance.
Yeah.
But Reyes still throwing some good strikes and outstriking John Jones.
He slowed down a little bit this round, but this is a tough round to call too. And there's still a minute left, but this is a tough round to call.
Somebody says if Jones loses, does he get a rematch? Oh, immediately.
Yeah.
Whenever he wants. I mean, Max Holloway's getting a rematch, and that's one of the few situations where it's like, okay, he's coming off of a loss, and I don't mind him getting a rematch. Joanna Jędrzejczyk getting a rematch when she did. Well, I didn't mind that either. She was the greatest champion that division ever had. Same with Jones. Holloway isn't quite the greatest champion that division ever had, but he was a fairly dominant one and made
they built him like he was.
Yeah, and sacrificed some things to the UFC. John Jones is not just the greatest fighter in the history of this division, might be the greatest fighter ever. So yeah, you do, especially with a fight this close.
And I mean, if you're not going John Jones again, if he loses, then who else is Reyes fighting?
You're going Aldo off a rematch, off a loss, and Romero off 3 blown attempts. That was nice. That is something only John Jones can do. A leaping teep kick, a leaping front kick to set up a takedown. Because, usually your feet need to be on the ground to set up a takedown, but not John Jones.
Reyes is in this. I mean, they're showing highlights like Reyes is winning this fight. And UFC has a tendency to do that of, hey, if it's a big underdog and if he's doing way better than we expect, let's really put him over and show his highlights. And I'm sure Joe Rogan is going crazy on commentary saying he's winning this fight 50-40 right now, but
yeah,
it's a close fight. I think Reyes is up 2-1.
I think he could be up 3-0. I think
it's very possible.
I think Romero could be up 3-0. Somebody says odds of Romero missing weight. 66% if you judge based on his last 3 fights. There you go. I just play the percentages, guys. I mean, honestly, if there's a betting line, I'm putting that at a minus. I'm putting that as a betting favorite.
All right, this will be. I mean, Reyes is coming out firing, but this will be the test now for him.
Yeah, championship rounds separates the men from the boys, and I mean, to be honest with you, Dom Reyes doesn't. He doesn't go to the scorecards a lot, much less the championship scorecards, and this is second nature to Jon Jones. Oh, and Reyes doesn't want to go to those scorecards. Look at him pouring it on. Now Jon Jones works for the body lock, goes for a trip. Oh, Jon Jones is just so good at wrestling and works and eventually gets the body lock. Dom Reyes couldn't fight it off. Now this is trouble for Reyes.
Reyes is doing a really good job, though.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, this is where Jon Jones usually drags people into or deep waters, and he was able to get back up to his feet. That's very impressive. You see Jon Jones, he's going high on the ribs but low around the waist, and he's trying to isolate. Oh, there you go, knees. Now, this is also going to pour it on for Jon Jones. He's going to be able to work away at the cardio of Dom Reyes with shots to the ribs, and it looks like Reyes is feeling it already.
It does. He looks tired, but I mean, that was a big win for him. Jones had his back a couple of times, was able to drag him down, and Reyes not only managed to get out, but take sort of minimal damage and now reset on the feet. But he definitely looks a little bit more winded of the two right now.
I tell you what, it's weird to see Jon Jones not blowing the doors off of people. I mean, obviously, Gustafsson put up a good fight and Thiago Santos put up a good fight, but there were a lot of people that didn't think that Dom Reyes had a chance. And I don't know how, based on the trajectory of Jon Jones's recent fights, you could do that or say that. I would rather Jon Jones be working underhooks than him have a waist lock. Look at that. He did a friggin' head kick while he had a waist lock applied.
Reyes again, though, out of it. Like, he's not getting manhandled by Jones, which is more than you can say for a lot of people who fight Jon Jones.
Takedown defense is listed as 6 out of 7 defended for Reyes. Now, we are not listening to commentary because the audio, or I'm not at least, because the audio would come through on OBS and we'd get flagged.
I think if I had commentary, it wouldn't come through and it'd be okay. But
yeah, it wouldn't come through on your end.
Okay, but, well, I'd rather listen to us talk, Sean.
Yeah, we're probably a better option. Reminder, guys, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, tap that bell for notifications. We are on podcast platforms everywhere. And check out FightfulMMA.com. Right now, we got our live coverage and hundreds, if not thousands, of comments over there. The Talking MMA community is a great one over at FightfulMMA.com. So make sure you guys check it out. Oh, Jones with a very nice combo. Got the entry. Reyes up against the cage. But Reyes did a good job getting out of the clinch, but had to eat an elbow and a knee to do it. That's not optimal, but it's a hell of a lot more optimal than getting taken down by Jon Jones. So, and now Reyes is starting to have to take 2 or 3 to give 1. And that ain't great either. I mean, if he can ride out the last 6 minutes, maybe it'll be okay. But if you're doing that into the 5th round, there's a good chance you might end up taking a 10-8 round, and you might end up with a draw, even if you won the first 3 rounds. Head kick from Jon Jones. You got to believe that Jon Jones is going to want to finish this fight, just in case.
It's definitely too close for him to leave in the hands of the judges right now, because it could be 3-0. Like, I think Jones is winning this round, and if nothing changes here in the final 30 seconds, he should win this round. But it still could be 3-1 Reyes, 2-2 at the best. I don't think, maybe Jones is up 3-1, but that's a tough scorecard for me to say. But yeah, if you're Jones and you took this round. Reyes definitely looks the more tired of the two. Like you would rather get the finish than, as Dana White always says, never leave it in the hands of the judges.
Oh yeah, no matter what happens, we're getting robbery fixed comments.
Yes,
Even if
100%.
John Jones finishes Dom Reyes or vice versa, we're getting fixed bullshit. That's my favorite. Bullshit decision. From
100%.
my Facebook friends who do not watch MMA.
Anytime there's a close decision, it's bullshit to somebody.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is, but it's like, nope, that was the wrong. The robbery. Robbery is my favorite one. Like if it's a close fight, it's not a robbery.
We had our first MMA event in my hometown a few months ago, and the fights were either really high level, like pros, good pros, or really bad, brand new amateurs. And I told everybody that I knew that was there, they were like, oh, what do I expect? And it was like, every single fight is going to last 1 minute or less, or go to the scorecards. And they all did. They all did. But there's levels to this. And, I get it. Some people, that's their only exposure. They go watch their buddy fight. He knocks somebody out in 30 seconds that's never trained. Then they see this, and they're like, what? Rigged. That was the first round that Jones outstruck Reyes. I do not believe those numbers. I do not believe that John Jones landed only 19 significant strikes in that round. That seems off. Also, I'd like to know what they classify as significant at this point. But Reyes opening up at the beginning of round 5.
It's a good start. Very good start for him. He needed it too, because I think he lost that last round, and that's about the only round I can definitively say somebody won or lost.
Yeah. I think that Reyes pretty definitively won the second round, and Jones just dived in on that. My God, he dived in big time.
He looked like he compares himself to a lion. He looked like a lion going after the prey right there.
He was working for the back of Reyes, but couldn't get it. Reyes slipped out. That's where the round 5 does play to Reyes' favor. He's so slippery right now. And Jones struggling even to get a high crotch single leg takedown.
Reyes defending really well on these takedowns and in the clinch.
Reyes is here to stay, man. And that's easy to say right now because, quite frankly, who can ever be the same after fighting John Jones? As we learned, Alex Gustafsson was not ever the same after fighting John Jones. But Reyes doing well. He just ate an elbow, but he threw some nice punches there.
I think we could see, no matter who wins or loses this, I think we're seeing Jones and Reyes next.
Well, that's the thing. Whenever Santos heals up, he'll be in line. He's like one fight away from a title shot.
That's true.
If Johnny Walker wins 2 in a row, he'll probably get right back there, even though he lost. You have Corey Anderson and Jan Blachowicz waiting in the wings. But quite frankly, if Jan Blachowicz wins next week, I don't think they're going to be doing backflips to give him a title fight. But Jones did say that he wanted to fight overseas in the summer. So maybe that's what they'll do. He said he wants to fight overseas in the summer and in Vegas at the end of the year. And that was a nice elbow. This is a hell of a fight.
Reyes started the round strong, and now he's definitely the one backing up, and Jones is pushing forward.
Yeah, I love this fight, man.
It's a really good fight. High-level mixed martial arts is so much fun. Like it feels like we don't see it enough. But sometimes UFC will deliver these kind of fights, and it's a nice reminder that they're out there.
I had somebody earlier who was kind of arguing with me saying, oh, your view is a purist view. And I'm like, buddy, there ain't nothing that makes you a casual MMA fan quicker than covering the sport.
I saw that. I was like, yeah, it's 100% true.
I can't remember the last time I cared about an MMA fight that happened before 9 p.m. Eastern. Tonight, the only reason I cared about one was because James Krause fought and did it on one day notice and a weight class up. Like, there are so many people who should not be in the UFC that are fighting in the UFC. There were 2 on the damn main card tonight.
I have a tough time caring about UFC fights that start before like 12.
Yeah.
Start before midnight, because nice duck under and shot by Reyes.
No disrespect to Mirsad Bektic and Dan Ige. I didn't give a damn about their fight. I cared about Louis Latifi, Shevchenko, Chookagian, and I care about Jones and Reyes and the badass fight they're putting on right now. And Reyes still active. Like, you can tell he's running on fumes, but...
Yeah, he's there, though.
God damn it.
Nice double jab.
This is a supremely impressive performance from Dom Reyes, and that's not me trying to take away anything from Jones, because his performance is impressive too. He's standing in there and trading punches with a guy who's been dropping dudes and not going down. But Reyes has been avoiding takedowns and getting up and pressing forward. Very rarely does a guy fight exactly how he needs to in a situation like this to keep himself in the fight. And that's exactly what Dom Reyes has done from the opening exchanges to the closing bell. And now Jones is starting to pull away with the significant strikes in this round.
Reyes has done enough in this round to where it's not going to be like a 10-8, but not the best of rounds for him. I mean, he ran out of gas. This is what we kind of thought could happen after that first 2 rounds, is that, okay, can he keep this up for 5 rounds? And he certainly ran out of gas in the 4th and 5th. But, I mean, he was there. That's the end of it. I think Jones 3-2.
I do too. I think Jones took 1, 4, and 5. That fight was incredible. That fight was unbelievable.
That was an excellent fight. The scorecards are going to be something.
Sorry about the clickety clack, guys. I got a tweet.
These scorecards are going to be something. One judge will give it to Reyes. I'm fairly confident.
This would be a split decision.
Yeah, and I hate when people do that. Oh, it's going to be a split decision. Like, you're essentially predicting incompetence from judges.
Yeah, but I mean, I can understand this one is, whew.
Man. I hit him with a hard punch in the first round.
I mean, we could be seeing history right here. John Jones has truly never been defeated. I know that there are a lot of people that don't understand.
Matt Hamill dominated that man.
I know a lot of you all might look at his record and not realize what that one loss is from. John Jones got DQ'd for beating the shit out of Matt Hamill too badly. Back then, John Jones didn't know the rules. He did not know the rules. He used to headbutt people in the ribs, and I don't think he did it maliciously, like, to break the rules. I think he did it because he didn't know them, but he threw downward elbows, which is a stupid rule anyway. But
it's like in WWE when a wrestler gets DQ'd for just beating up the opponent too much.
Basically.
Like, what? I mean, that's what happened to Jones. DQ'd. He lost for kicking too much ass.
And the fight should have been stopped well before that.
Yes,
John Jones was hosed on that. But this, he would not be hosed on this fight. If Dom Reyes wins this fight, I would say congratulations, Dom Reyes. The decision went your way. I see it as... I see a lot of people saying, oh, it's questionable how the third round's thing. I thought the first round was closer, but now that I see since I see the stats, I kind of see that point. Like, maybe
I gave Reyes the first. I think Jones won 2, 4, and 5.
Okay. Most people, the consensus is 4 and 5 Jones, 2 definitely Reyes. It seems like everybody but me seems to think Reyes won the first round, so I'm inclined to be swayed there. But that round 3 does seem like the question mark.
All right, well, we shall see. Maybe I'm misremembering round 2 if everybody thinks that Reyes got that handily. Here we go.
You're a second ahead of me, so this should be interesting.
It's unanimous.
Oh, it's unanimous. Here we go.
It's unanimous.
And I can't hear, so. Oh, my feed cut out. So you will respond. You will tell me.
The winner is John Jones.
Hey, you know what? He earned it.
He did.
He earned it. John Jones wins. I think you got to do a rematch there.
I think so
you got to
too.
do a rematch there.
Jones is praising Reyes. Says he earned his respect.
Yeah.
Says the difference in the fight were the takedowns.
No BS decision, no robbery. It was just a good fight.
Yeah.
Run it back. Run it back. It was awesome.
And Jones really thinks the difference were those takedowns, even though he didn't hold him down for any length of time.
Was not the difference. Was not the difference because he didn't do shit with it. Well, that's UFC.
Jones says he dominated the 5th round.
I thought he started to run away with it as well. So Jon Jones extends a series of records: most title fights in the UFC, most fights in a row. He's like undefeated, most unbeaten title fights. Like he set a plethora of records and variations of that record. But we are going to have some post show coverage there at Fightful.com. Jon Jones continues to make history, but Dom Reyes was game, and I want to see more. I want to see Dom Reyes get another shot. Thiago Santos is still out with a knee injury. I don't mind it. What's Jon Jones say?
He's praising Dom Reyes some more. Once again, said he thought the takedowns were the difference, but he's really putting over Reyes, and he said he's grateful to make history. As you mentioned, he most defenses, most wins. All kinds of records Jon Jones setting. Now Rogan is asking about moving up potentially, and Jones is giving the usual "I'm going to talk to my coaches" answer.
Well, guys, leave a thumbs up, subscribe. Until next time, visit FightfulMMA.com. We're out. Man, that fight fucking